Nikita, the dumbest man alive. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Guys, we have the final bit of news officially tonight. I think actually it's about a couple of days ago, actually. So, this is the final bit of news. Or is it this one? No, it's this one. Sorry. Yeah, it's this one. This is from Nikita himself. So, for anyone who doesn't know what the situation is, a few days ago, about, I think, what is it, 5 days ago now or so, Tarkov tried to release a $250, essentially DLC, price tag for a whole bunch of pay-to-win mechanics and non-pay-to-win mechanics as well, pay for convenience, and also co-op PvE. Now, of course, the entire Tarkov community was up in arms, rightly so. And we all collectively kind of lost faith in BSG all at once. It was like a wild 24 hours. But yeah, so everyone was really upset about the situation, understandably, and we kind of all collectively lost faith in BSG. However, the situation did not end there. It got worse with, Nikita having an interview with a so-called emissary, with the so-called emissaries, glorified, community members and such, and kind of was just like completely standoffish, refused to admit any mistakes, and kind of just doubled down over and over and over. And, the situation got worse and then progressively even worse as well. And finally, we've had a bit of a turnaround over the past couple of days. First, he said that he was cutting the price of the Unheard of edition from $100 extra for anyone who was an EOD member, as in straight up a 50% reduction in that price, to now a completely new situation. So let's read it. Greetings. Let me continue my feedback on the current situation. First of all, I would like to say I am very sorry, and we'll do like a complete breakdown of this as well. I'm very sorry that fans and the game community in general are experiencing these feelings. Wait. So Nikita, even in this apology, is refusing to actually apologize. Dude, this is like some like fucking gaslight manipulator behavior, man. Like straight up. Holy crap, man. Oh my god. Let's continue. We'll break the entire thing down, but man, this is like straight up what an abuser says. Like, hey, I'm sorry you felt hurt at what I said. Like, have you ever like, dude, my ex used to do this shit to me all the time. Oh, I'm sorry you felt hurt at what I said. What the hell? Nah, man, I'm not hurt at what you said. I'm hurt because you are a terrible human being and you said something bad. Just say you're sorry, not sorry for how I took it, how you said it. This is what a real apology is like. Anyways, but yeah, there you go. So this is straight up manipulator behavior. Normal Nikita things at this point. We should all be expecting this at this point. But let's continue. Unfortunately, I somehow did not foresee the fact of such a reaction, and now I have drawn conclusions for my future decisions. Now I will briefly summarize the main points. We will go through all that as well, because it just keeps getting better right here. Oh my god. I could break every sentence down, and I will, but we're going to read through the entire thing first. One, about PVE access. We have decided to just open it for EOD owners for free. But we will do it in waves. As I said before, we don't have server capacity right now. We will start this process as soon as possible. Two, we've also decided we'll add mod support for PvE mode after release of the game. Three, about the Unheard of edition, we will not remove it. We want to... Yeah, no shit. But we will not remove it. We want to keep the option for those who want to support the game more. But we will balance items, perks in this edition, as well as we will provide more rewards for those who upgraded with the original older price. 4, new EOD perks will be balanced too. We'll remove the prioritized matching option to keep everyone in the same spot. Yeah, this was insane. Oh my god. And we will add more unique stuff to highlight the EOD version in general. We will provide the final list of the new EOD perks ASAP. 5, we'll continue to work on patches, new content, events, and the game release itself, no matter what. Thank you for your time, love, and hate. That's a little tongue-in-cheek. I like that last sentence. And thank you for your increased attention to the current situation, Nick. All right. So let's break him down, boys. Let's break him down. All right. Like I said, it starts off with a banger, Nikita. For if nothing else, this entire situation has not disappointed. Basically, I'm like I said many times, I'm relatively new to this community. This is like I've been really heavy into Tarkov, this most recent patch 14 and the patch previous to that. Sorry, the wipe previous to that. But I've been around in the community a little bit for about the past 2 years. And my good friend who's in chat right now, Zach and Pat, were trying to tell me to play this game for what is it? Like, Zach, how long was it? 4 years? Something like that. So I've at least heard it on the very, very tertiary for many, many years. And for all this time, honestly, it was really funny that all this time, various content creators and my friends and everything were telling me how much of an ass Nikita is from the very beginning. And I never really had experienced it until now. And now in this situation over the past 4 or 5 days, every single statement from Nikita is just a prime example of how much of a dog shit CEO he is. He might take the cake for one of the worst leaders of a gaming company I've ever seen, ever. I'm getting it. I wasn't a believer beforehand, and I'm officially getting it. This is hilarious, man. Oh my god. Yeah, it's a great game. Yeah, exactly, Zach. I love the game Tarkov itself, and I used to believe in it sincerely until about 5 days ago. This situation, was kind of a really big eye opener for me. But yeah, so like I said, again, first of all, I'd like to say very sorry to the fans that you guys are experiencing these feelings. Yeah, so he even in this, basically, this entire thing is supposed to be a bit of a mea culpa. Hey, we screwed up, sorry. Except he refuses to even say, hey, I'm sorry, I messed up, I made bad decisions. He doesn't say anything like this. He's just like, hey, I'm sorry you felt this way. I'm sorry I did not foresee your reactions to, my decision to put pay to win officially into the game. I'm so sorry that, you guys are upset that I made the next edition $100 extra that I essentially expected all of you to pay. Oh, I'm really sorry that I locked a feature that you guys really have been asking for since the beginning of Tarkov, as in co-op PVE with progression and, questing and all that. I'm so sorry I locked that behind a $100 paywall. Who could have foreseen this? Certainly not me. Certainly not me, Mr. Nikita. Oh my god. It's just crazy, man. It's always such a blame the victim mentality, man. It's I kind of saw strings of this anytime there was a giant screw up with the game. His statements would always be hey, yeah, we're sorry you're taking this the wrong way. He's done this before, but I never really it never really clicked until the past few days. But yeah, PVE Access, we decided to open it to EOD owners for free. They should have done this from the beginning, but I'm glad they're doing this now. This was the big thing that a lot of people were upset about. Doing it in waves, this is totally fine. If this was their final solution here, they could have said this at the very beginning. That, hey, we have limited server space. We can only give it to you in waves. No one would have minded. People, yeah, I mean, some people would have bitched. But it's a, if a game company talks about the issues and they are very clear in their communication and they don't treat their audience like idiots, gamers respect that. We've seen this with Pal World, where they talk very seriously about their issues and their issues of growth and server capacity and everything like that. Same thing with we've seen this with Helldivers. There were massive server issues at the beginning of Helldivers. Massive server queues, the game just breaking randomly, all kinds of stuff. And they were extremely clear, discussed it with the community, didn't treat us like absolute imbeciles. They treated us like the fucking grown-ups that we are. And shocker, it worked. We were like, yeah, we appreciate it. Here you go. Here's our information, and we're giving bug reports, and they're fixing things, and it was a good back and forth, and a lot of understanding. And same with Last Epoch. We've seen like several experiences of game companies doing it right in just the past couple of months. And here we have like the exact absolute abject opposite, which is amazing. As I said before, we don't have server capacity. We'll start this process as soon as possible. Okay. So point number one, that's fine. Whatever. Point number two, decide we add mod support for PvE after the release of the game. The reason he's doing this is because he's trying to immediately like cut into single player Tarkov. That is he doesn't want people to use single player Tarkov, which is fine. But honestly, we've been asking him to hire or like even at least just consult or just bring on as free consultants the makers of single player Tarkov to add their special magic. They've been working with extremely limited tools to create like a gigantic, amazing mod to the game. That's not even allowed by BSG, which means they have to jump through hoops. Like, imagine what these guys could pull off if they were allowed to by BSG. We would have like an amazing, like essentially single player or co-op experience that they would have to work less on. Like BSG would just have to work less. It would be a win-win situation. But BSG has egos and they're not willing to do that. Point number 3 about the Unheard of edition, we'll not remove it. This is not surprising. They've already had so many people buy this game, buy the Unheard of edition for an actual $100. And this is with everyone knowing about the pay to win. This is with them, with everyone knowing about all the issues with it and, the unfairness and this and that. Like, a lot of people didn't care, and I don't blame them. Like, I don't blame anyone who bought the Unheard of edition. But there's a reason they're not going to remove it. And it's because BSG is essentially getting completely free money right now. And they're like, lowering the amount of rewards it has and everything like that. And it's just, it's just free money for BSG. They're giving in-game items that provide a bonus to people, and it's just free money for Battlestate Games. Why would they ever say no to this? And holy shit, welcome to the stream, Artificial Beads. Thank you for shouting them out, Dark Shade. I appreciate that. How was Dave the Diver for you tonight? I hope it was amazing. I hope you're doing amazingly, buddy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mr. Beans. And welcome back to the Koi Crew, buddy. How are you doing tonight, my friend? We're covering more Tarkov news to start the night. We got lots of just chatting. We got lots of fun planned. We're going to be announcing some new game good news as well. And we're going to see some really, really interesting stuff about another competitive extraction shooter coming out very, very soon. And a lot of other fun news of various, positives and negatives for the extraction genre as well. You've been wanting to get into Tarkov? Yeah, Tarkov, I used to very openly say 4 days ago, anytime before 4 days ago, that Tarkov is my favorite competitive shooter that I've ever played in my life. It is still the case. However, the community kind of exploded over the past week or so. So you should definitely watch my video on it, Artificial Beans, because it's a pretty crazy situation. And this is kind of like the closing chapter of that situation is what we're covering right now. But yeah, I mean, the game itself is great. I really, really love Tarkov as a game. It is the most tactical kind of shooter that I have ever tried. And also, I really like the long-form RPG style mechanics that the game implements. It gives, a sense of real progression. Your character gets slightly stronger after raids and so on and so forth. Like, this is like really cool stuff that I really vibe with. And also, you can play it without being good at shooters, which is like, I'm fucking bad at shooters, Artificial Beans. I don't know how good you are at shooters, but like, dude, if you throw me into a CS:GO game or a Valorant game or something like that, I cannot click on the heads, man. I can, do call outs really well and, tactical things like that, read the map and so on, but I cannot actually click the fucking heads. I'm really bad at headshots and things like that. And Tarkov is very unique because as a bad shooter player, I can still succeed because, I can have knowledge in the game. I can learn a map well. I can, figure out what is tactically sound to do in a situation, even if I can't, if I can't get the crosshairs correctly on a guy too well, I can at least put myself in a position where I'm able to win a lot of fights, even without being able to click on heads. That kind of thing. And Tarkov is really a game that rewards that pretty much more than any other shooter I've ever played. Will balance. I actually also don't think that the Unheard of edition will have things balanced correctly. Like, one thing to note about the radio with the scav, not being able to shoot at you over 60 meters and stuff, like the actual pay to win mechanics in the Unheard of edition, that they were saying that they're going to also add to EOD, which we don't want as well. We don't want pay to win. Like, it's really not hard for them to understand. A, we don't want these pay to win things. And B, they said that they're going to balance it, but they've not given any details at all whatsoever of how they're going to balance the radio, where you can call in your homies, call in the Avengers if you're getting like under pressure or anything. Doc, welcome, buddy. Hang on out with us, my friend. How are you doing tonight? We've been on for a solid half an hour. Hope you're having a great night. Welcome to stream, Doc. Yeah, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know, Doc. Hang on out, and maybe we will. The EOD perks will be balanced too. This is good because we actually, as EOD members, most of the community for Tarkov is EOD members. And one of the big things that we found out was that we had priority matchmaking and we never knew it, which means that they have been able to mess with, all these back end things without telling us what we were getting into when we bought this game. We don't want this. Like, it was so crazy that they just ran and they let this slip out. Like, we never knew this, and they're like, oh, by the way, everyone who has EOD has priority matchmaking. And we kind of like sometimes thought that this was a thing, but we didn't really know for sure. Like, every single time I was, with some friends that they were like, they were not EOD members, they were standard edition or whatever. Or I met someone in the game or whatever, and I ended up like grouping with them afterwards and so on. They're like, wow, I'm getting into matches faster with you. It was like this anecdotal thing, but we never knew how real it was until now. And yeah, it's so ridiculous. And now that they let it slip out, we're all like, yeah, what are you doing? We don't want this. We want like a game like this, a competitive shooter. One of the best things about true competitive shooters is when it's an even playing field. People who are truly competitive, like me, like other people, whether we play this, whether we play Valorant, whether we play League, whether we play CSGO, Rainbow Six, Apex, whatever competitive game, truly, actually competitive people, we don't want a leg up on the competition. That is unfair. We want to be able to win because of our wits, our skill, our reaction, whatever it is. Anything that is like a pay for convenience and pay to win in a competitive game does not belong in the game. It is dog shit mechanics that needs to be taken out of every competitive game. And, the other games I mentioned don't have much pay to win at all. Like, League has no pay to win. That's one reason I like League. You get... The skill level that you're at is the skill level you are. If you're a dog shit, iron person because you have bad mental and you're like, inting it down as a Yasuo main, that's what you get. Like, there's no way to, outpay it. Like, unless, people do try to buy RMT accounts and stuff. And besides that, their skill level will bring them down to that ELO at some point anyways. In this game, we all thought that, we were not really getting any pay to win or anything like that, besides EOD giving us some early items and all that bullshit. We didn't really like that either. We just wanted to help support the game. And, those items you could easily delete, or you could, you would lose them so fast anyways. If you were actually bad at the game like I am, I would lose all my gear at the beginning of the game anyways, for Tarkov, so it wasn't really a big deal. But yeah, we don't want, especially like matchmaking being different for EOD members. We don't want any of that. Like, we've never wanted this, and I'm glad that they're going to fix this. I hope they do, and they really need to provide detail. Like, all of these points, I want you guys to know, one of the major issues I have with apologies is a lack of action items. We've seen many apologies in the game community. Bad apologies are made of vague statements, and they're made of, a lack of actual action items. Those things make an apology really stick. First of all, a proper, saying I'm sorry, which Nikita does not do here. That is an important thing for an actual apology. And then, of course, comes the action items. How are we going to fix this? Here are the specifics. One of the best examples of an apology recently, CA, when it came to Total War Warhammer. They screwed up hugely trying to, push the cost for their failed games as a service game and try to push that cost onto the players of their good games, as in the Total War series, the games that we all like as people who play CA games. Total War Warhammer, Total War Pharaoh, Total War, Rome, and all those. And they try to, screw us over. And they grossly screwed up. We had a major outcry in the community there. And they absolutely had to apologize. And they did. And they gave us action items. And they followed through with the action items. And now if you look on Steam for Total War Warhammer, when all this stuff happened, they were at a 28% approval rating. Which is like a huge, like it was like essentially the level of proper review bombing in a good way, because people were giving their messages to CA, and it was through Steam a lot of times, and all their scores suffered. And now you look at it, and it is a massive increase back to like the 80s, which is where the approval of the game really belongs. It's a good game. And we've seen the action items. The newest DLC is a banger, and it's properly priced. And that action items essentially is what really makes or breaks an apology. So no action items here, no real ones, and no real details either. But yeah, we'll continue to work on patches, new content, events, and game release itself, no matter what. This game has been in beta for 6 fucking years, which is insane. But we will see how long it takes. I don't know if this game will ever come out. I don't know if it'll come out now. I don't know if it'll come out in a year. I don't know if it'll be another 6 years. Who knows? So we will see how this happens. But it is brutal. So yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in Tarkov. I don't have a lot of faith in BSG. I have a lot of faith in the community, seeing the community come together and, have a unified outcry and really discuss on all levels, like even cheaters, like even the worst scum of this entire community, which are the cheater community in Tarkov, and it's a very large number of people. Even they were targeting, the people who bought the unheard of edition of the game to show their displeasure at pay to win and stuff. Like, it was so weird that even the worst members of the community were also unified in some way to tell BSG, hey, we don't want you ruining our game either. So it was this like weird situation where, I mean, I've actually really, one of the best parts of Tarkov is the community. I've said that at the very beginning, and that was like one of my favorite things of the community from day one. So I think this also, while it highlighted how bad BSG is as a company and how bad Nikita is as CEO, I think this also highlights how good the community is in general, and how unified they can be, and how also in gaming, if you never thought a unified voice can actually get action done, this should tell you. This should absolutely tell you. It took effort from other people as well, like, the voice of Asmongold, the voice of Linus Tech Tips, people that are really not really that involved with this game in general, but, it's still a gamer voice, is still in the gaming space. These voices all together, it enacts real change. And it always will. So I always feel people should be loud and proud with their voice, never harass, but, at least, truly make their voices heard, make the videos, make the spams, the copy pasta that shows BSG how disappointed they are, spamming in the Discord, things like that. Like, that shit really works. And it did. And that's why we're at least in this situation now. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the future goes. But I think you would never, ever, ever, you should never, ever, ever trust BSG in the future. Don't give them a dime, and if you have to give them a dime, only get the standard edition, because the game is good, but it is hopefully going to be outclassed by upcoming games as well. And this is a proper segue into our next section. So you have to head out. Hey, no worries, Artificial. I'll make this on YouTube as well. So, dude, make sure you're following the YouTube. Check out the videos. I will put it up soon as well, my friend. So do not worry. I've been putting these videos up, and I will continue to do so.